Good morning, game makers. Today we're going to try to add a player to our game. I'm going to go really fast, so just try to keep up. Remember, you can always pause the video and do whatever you need to do. The other day I posted some videos about X and Y coordinates. Those are going to come in really handy here. So the first thing I'm going to do is move myself out of the way. I'm going to create a sprite and I'm going to import. And the one I'm going to import is my plane strip 3. Whenever you see the underscore strip and then a number, that means it's an animated sprite, and I'll show you what that means in just a second. So you can see that it has 3 subimages that import separately, which is really handy. If you want to see what it looks like, you can click on the preview button in 1.4, or in GameMaker 2, there's a little play button up here. To center, I'm going to click here and do middle center, and you can see that moves the origin or where the plane is going to be on the screen to the middle of it. I'm going to bump this up just a little bit. This is currently it looks like it's a 65 by 65 sprite. It's going to be a little small, so I'm going to go ahead and click on edit image, come up here to image, and I'm going to resize all frames, and I'm going to blow this thing up 150%. So I want it to be pixels or percent 150. Make sure that it's even. So now it's going to be, when I click on apply, I will have to most likely recenter. No, it did it for me. So the origin is 4949. That's going to be important because we want to keep our plane on our screen, and I'll show you how to use that. So now I'm going to create a new object, and I'm going to call it OBJ player. I forgot to name my sprite. I'll go back and do that in a little bit. Um, I want this sprite. And so I'm going to add some events, and I'm not going to add a create event at this time, although I will need one eventually. I'm going to go down here to key down. So I want this event is whenever the key that I'm specifying is held down, I want it to do something. So I'm going to use WASD. So I'm going to go down to letters, and first thing I'm going to do is have it move to the left. So I'm going to say when the A button is being pressed down, what do I want to happen? And again, I want to keep it on my screen. I've already forgotten where the origin of my thing is, 4949. Okay, back to my player. So the center of my plane is at 4949. So I'm going to test variable, and the variable I'm going to check is X. And if my X location, or my left and right position on the screen, is greater than 49, then I'm going to let my player move to the left. So to do that, I have to go down to move. Where are we? And I'm going to find jump to point. Now in GameMaker 2, when you do an if statement, you want to attach it to the right here. Um, and then that will say, okay, if this is true, then do this. Otherwise, it's going to move on and not do any of this block of code. So what I want to have happen is if I'm not going off the screen yet, then I want my X to decrease by -4 relative. Um, and then I'm going to do one more event. So I'm going to add an event. I'm going to do key down. And this time, I want to be able to move to the right. So I'm going to say D. Now, in this case, I don't want to go off the screen to the right. So I am going to test my X. So the X again, and I'm going to make sure that it's less than room underscore width minus 49. I think that's what we said the center was. I've already forgotten. And so if my X is less than room width minus 49, then I want to jump to position, or jump to point rather, and I want my X to increase by 4 relative. All right, so let's see what that's going to look like. So I'm going to go into my room. I'm going to drag an instance of my player. Notice, by the way, that's going to put your object on the instances layer, not on the background layer. We're going to actually create some new layers later, but I just want to see what this will do. So let's see if I've been successful or not. Cross your fingers for me. I'm running the game, and I'm going to hold down the A key. And you can see I stop once my origin is 49 pixels from the right. I can't go off the screen. That's pretty great. I'm going to hold down the D key, and you can see that my X position is increasing, but once it becomes to the position of room width minus 49, it stops me. So this is the X and right, or X position, moving me left and right with a holding down a key. And you can see my background from the last video is looking pretty good. I have no idea where I am on the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to think about this. How do I get my player to move up and down on the screen? What variable am I going to be affecting? And how do I make sure I don't go off the top of the screen? And how do I make sure I don't go off the bottom? So go ahead and give me your thoughts in the comments. And the next video, I'll already have that done, and you'll know if you were right or wrong. Thanks for watching. And again, give me feedback. Let me know if these videos are at a pace that works for you. Thanks.